Greenland continues to be a global focal point this week. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent calling the island essential to national security in an interview yesterday.
NDD's Daniel Monahan reports on that and the response from European leaders after President Trump threatened new tariffs.
President Trump has continued to exert pressure on Europe in his quest to acquire Greenland. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent discusses why that is crucial, speaking on NBC's Meet the Press.
President Trump strongly believes that we cannot outsource our security because, Kristen, let me tell you what will happen, and it might not be next year, might not be in 5 years, but down the road, this fight for the Arctic is real.
Bessent says if there were an attack on Greenland from Russia or from some other area, the U.S. would get dragged in.
So better now, peace through strength, make it part of the United States, and there will not be a conflict because the United States right now, we are the hottest country in the world. We are the strongest country in the world. The Europeans project weakness. The U.S. projects strength.
President Trump wrote on Truth Social that NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. The president says world peace is at stake, arguing that China and Russia want Greenland and there's nothing Denmark can do about it. The president also criticized Danish defenses in Greenland, saying they amounted to having 2 dog sleds, with one being added recently. President Trump said on Saturday that he's planning to add a 10% tariff onto Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, and Finland, starting on February 1st. The levy would increase to 25% on June 1st, unless a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. European Union leaders held an emergency meeting yesterday over the tariff threat. EU Council President Antonio Costa said EU leaders have expressed readiness to defend themselves against any form of coercion. Costa is expected to convene a full summit of EU leaders later this week. Norway's foreign minister said they stand with the Kingdom of Denmark in defense of its sovereignty.
But we're also ready to do more together with America and with all our allies in the Arctic. And that's exactly why we are stepping up our presence in Greenland, because if there are security concerns, we can meet them jointly.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer wrote on X that Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and its future is a matter for the Greenlanders and the Danes. He also said NATO and allies should all do more together to address the threat from Russia across different parts of the Arctic. French President Emmanuel Macron called the tariffs unacceptable, saying no intimidation or threat will influence them. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said yesterday that he spoke with Trump regarding the security situation in Greenland and the Arctic, and that he looks forward to seeing him in Davos later this week. Meanwhile, the 8 European nations on Trump's tariff list have sent a small military presence to Greenland, intended to bolster Arctic security as a shared transatlantic interest, saying the deployment poses no threat to anyone. The White House said last week that the deployment of European troops in Greenland has not changed President Trump's mind on acquiring the island. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.